morning and welcome to Channel 5 News, brought to you live from Jerusalem. I'm Katie and this is your Inside Scoop. Let's go talk now to Samuel Shepard for a bit of background about Jesus' birth. Good morning, Samuel. Thanks for talking to me today. How are you doing?
We're all a bit distraught over these recent events. It's just crazy to think that the baby I saw lying in the manger is dead. It's devastating.
Samuel, you saw Jesus as a baby? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course, it was just a normal day. Me and the other shepherds were keeping watch over our flock at night. An angel appeared to us and said, "Today in the city of David, a Savior has been born for you is the Messiah and Lord. And this will be a sign for you and your will. Find an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." Some of the other shepherds and I, we went to visit Jesus in the manger, and we found him just as the angel had said.
Wow, that is really miraculous. What went through your head when you first saw Jesus laying there?
When I first saw him, I knew there was something special about him. He wasn't just any normal person. He was perfect. I could just feel the change in his presence. He came to save us, and I could just tell, which is why it was just devastating to see him die on that cross.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us, Samuel. We really appreciate it. Well, let's go talk to Richard, a pig farmer with a really interesting story to tell about Jesus. Good morning, Richard. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine, thanks for asking.
So, Richard, recently there have been a lot of rumors about your pig farm. Would you be willing to talk about them?
Sure, of course. So one day, my swine herds came back to me after they had been out in the pasture with my pigs. And then all of a sudden, they came running to me all crazy and frantic. And then they told me this story I could hardly believe. They said there were these demon-possessed men on the street, and then Jesus came along and rid the demons from them. Then the demons ran into my group of pigs, and they just ran all into the river and drowned it with the demon spirits. It was like the demons had possessed them to go crazy. It was so heartbreaking, you know?
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your pigs. What did you mean it was those that had been possessed?
I don't know. They'd never done anything like that before. It must have been when the demons ran into the crowd of my pigs, they possessed them into running into the river and killing themselves. But it's just so devastating, and I can't believe Jesus would have let it happen.
What do you mean Jesus let it happen?
Well, Jesus was there and just let it happen. I mean, he was there. He sent the demons into the pigs for goodness sakes. Like, how could he, the Son of God, do that to me, to them? It was just really soul crushing. I loved my pigs. Maybe he's just not the man I thought he was.
If he's not the man you thought he was, then who do you say Jesus is now?
Well, he is, of course, the Son of God. We know that to be true, but it does make me question his perfection and goodness a little bit because he let such an awful thing happen. But I still do believe he is a good man, with good intentions, and is a good character.
Well, I'm very sorry about the tragic loss of your pigs, but thanks for talking to us today.
You're welcome.
That was a very interesting story Richard had to tell us about his pigs. Well, let's go talk to Nathaniel now, a businessman who's known Jesus and his family for quite a while. Hey, Nathaniel?
Good afternoon, Katie.
So I know that you were really close with Joseph and his family, and I heard that Jesus taught at your synagogue last year. Can you tell us a little bit about his teachings and how you and your friends responded to them?
Yes, for sure. I have known Joseph for a long time. We are great friends. When I heard that his son was proclaiming himself to be the Son of God, I really didn't believe it. After all, he hasn't performed many miracles that we could see.
Well, have you changed your opinion of him at all? After everything that happened when he was killed on the cross and then resurrected?
When he rose from the dead, I realized he must have been telling the truth. I am quite remorseful for what I said to him a while ago, because now I realize how rude and untrusting I was. But I know the truth now, that Jesus was in fact the Son of God, and for that I am grateful.
Well, that certainly is a very inspiring story. Thanks for talking to us today, Nathaniel. Well, that sure was an inspiring and informative little bit we got from each person. Thanks again to all of them for agreeing to come on our show, and we hope you've enjoyed it, our latest news from Jerusalem. Signing off, I'm Katie Love.